We're live. Hello.
Hello, welcome to FMC Book Club podcast.
Yes, we're your FMCs. Hello.
Always, always. It's
Yeah.
morning for me. You're
Yeah.
you're now into
About to be the afternoon,
close to
but
afternoon.
it's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm gonna struggle a little bit today
Yeah.
because it has been we our last recording was a month ago?
I would say like 3 weeks.
Was it
3 weeks?
3 weeks?
Yeah, maybe.
A lot has happened.
A lot has happened that we will
And I read
share
these
later.
chapters immediately after.
Yeah, we did. That's so funny. We both did. As soon as we recorded the last episode, we got super excited and just
And
basically
we've
finished the
we've
whole book. Yeah.
Yeah. And we've lied to you again because we said that we were going to do just 40 through 50. Remember last time we had our little debate at the end?
Yeah.
No, we're going to do 40 through
No, we could not.
56.
Yeah, we could not stop reading. So this is going to be a
Yeah.
full episode of the rest of Metal Slinger.
And because there's a lot to get to,
Hmm.
instead of doing our question of the day, we'll have like a mid podcast announcement, and we'll just do our overall reactions. So
Yeah,
we finished.
we
So
finished.
walk me through your feelings, overall reactions to the book.
I definitely, so I still kind of struggle with it. It's so funny now that I think about it some more. I hate it and love it at the same time. So the big plot twist, obviously, is that Jovi.
Oh, are we going for it?
Oh, are
Are
we?
we? I don't know.
Oh, I don't. Okay. Well, okay. No, we can stop.
I'm good either way.
No, no, no.
I
It's
just
okay. It's okay. I was about to. Okay. Yeah. Well, now it's hard to say. It's hard to kind of go into it.
it is hard. Let's put it this
Okay.
way. Without let's try. I don't know. This is hard. Let's talk
It
about
is
this for a
hard.
second
Yeah.
because
Yeah. Let's
because
pause.
I totally see what you're saying.
Okay.
I
So
don't know.
just overall, did you like the book or not? You can just do that.
Yeah, I think so I was giggling because your initial reaction to me asking the question is kind of to like to stutter through it a little bit because I do. I like this book. If
Yeah.
anyone said should I read Metal Slinger, I'd say yeah, absolutely read Metal Slinger. But I'm left with this overall feeling of I don't know how to feel other than I know my overall would I recommend this book? Yes. Yes, yes, yes,
Hmm.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
But everything I knew about this
Hmm.
book and the characters, not everything, but really the most important pieces, is
Yeah.
everything I thought was just
Yeah.
wrong. I will say we were right about I'm just see this is this book. I don't know how to feel. I liked it, but I also don't know how to feel. I
Yeah.
feel like everything I thought was wrong, but also there's a good amount that you and I we were on the right track to, at the very least.
On the right track and yet completely wrong.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? Like we picked
Yeah.
up on a lot of things, but I don't think any of us saw that twist coming. Yeah.
No. No.
Because yeah, I I was gonna get into it again. But
Well, and I think what we can say that Rachel did in this book is she did something that some
hmm.
people really love and some
Hmm.
people they feel a little betrayed
Yeah.
about
Yeah, I felt that for sure.
because there are other books and series where they talk about like, oh, this is not the person who you're hearing the perspective from is not a reliable, source and
Hmm.
reporter.
Hmm.
And that I don't think is giving anything away, but it does help kind of frame
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
reactions as you've been conned is
Yeah.
kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how else to
I
say it.
don't know how, like, how do you what are your overall feelings now towards Jovi, towards like Acker? Like how did the ending change your feelings of the characters?
I mean, now I just don't know who the protagonist is.
Yeah.
Confused.
Yeah.
And I mean, the next book is called Light Wielder. So that just made okay, if this book was Metal Slinger and was it about Acker technically, I guess, maybe, but still Jovi's perspective. And then now we have Light Wielder, like what is it gonna be, you know? So
Wouldn't it be wild? So called it's called Metal Slinger. It
yeah.
was this whole book was from the perspective of Jovi.
Yeah.
What if
Switch it
Light
around.
Wielder is all from the
hmm
perspective of Acker?
Yeah.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah, it would.
Um,
It would.
the
But
ending also made me. Oh, go ahead.
no. I was just gonna say, but if that did happen, like, never mind. Never mind. Yeah.
What?
Well, I was gonna say, like, would we get a recount or like a retelling of what actually happened versus a new story?
Oh,
But no, we
yeah.
could do
I
a new
mean,
story from Acker's perspective now that everything's like come to light. Yeah. That'd be
yeah,
interesting.
it could switch perspectives where it's now the aftermath of the
hmm
ending from Acker's perspective.
Yeah.
And since, maybe something interesting comes into because they have the ability to kind of see into each other's like minds and intentions and jump a
Yeah.
little bit, that maybe that will help resolve anything that we would need to see from Jovi's perspective.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, that'll be I need that book to come out tomorrow.
Yeah, this ending is unlike any plot twist, you know.
hmm
There are plot twists where it's like, "Oh, that guy was actually, in Harry Potter, it's like Snape was great the whole time and it's like
Yeah.
everyone's favorite character,
Yeah. No, I
which
was
is
gonna
like a
say
twist, but
it's a lot like, this the horror movies or whatever where or like Inception where at the end it's like was it
yeah.
all real?
Yeah,
Like
actually,
that
that's
kind
what
of
this
stuff.
book
Yeah.
did. You're so
hmm
right. We
hmm
were absolutely inceptioned in
Yeah.
this a little bit.
Yeah.
Well,
That was
I
hard
squashed the
to
big reveal, but
no, not at all, but yeah, I mean it was a lot. It was and people are right, like you can never see it coming.
no. And I actually recorded myself finishing the
You
the
did.
book. Yeah.
hmm
And uh I will say I still to this moment weeks later, had have the same reaction. I was just sitting there like with just
Yeah.
that look, like the ultimate like Joey from Friends trying to like
Yeah, like
multiply
what?
230 something
Yeah.
by, I was like,
Yeah.
so the lady doing the math in the meme.
Yeah, for sure.
Shall we get into it?
Yeah, we can get into it. Let's do this. Okay, so we're starting with chapter 41. Basically, in this chapter, they're still traveling.
Hmm.
Acker, Bo, Jovi, and Hollis. They stop into a town, trying to find a place to stay, essentially get ripped off, and then are like tricked into staying into a brothel or in a brothel. And that's kind of it. Like it shows that, people are kind of closed off from them,
Hmm.
like not really wanting to work or help them at all. And we kind of see later on that that's probably because Jovi's with them.
I thought this whole like hiding identities thing, I had a lot of questions about. It could have a really simple answer, but I mean, is it just simply that they're like the outskirts of their kingdom and they don't want to be noticed? Like, what was your read
hmm
on that?
Well, it says later on that Jovi thinks it's because people are afraid of her, that that's why the
Mm,
town
that's right.
had the town's lights were off, like they weren't trying to
That's right.
get her or be near her or anything like that. So they were just having a tough time going through the town. And I think that's why and Is this the next chapter? Why Bo gets drunk. Because in the next chapter, which we can kind of skip to because nothing really happened in that
Yeah.
other chapter. Bo gets drunk because emotions are heightened, and I believe it's because
Mm.
people are feeling some type of way about Jovi. But that was kind of my read on that.
Okay, that makes total sense, and that's the interesting thing about talking about these chapters now. We're talking about them like we don't know what this amounts
Mm-hmm.
to, like what
Yeah.
we thought at the time of reading it. But I do think I remember that now that you said it. So, and it's because Bo can kind of pick up on like the auras and like the feeling. It's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a magical empath kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, I mean, the rest of this chapter, chapter 42, is Jovi projecting herself. So she can,
Yeah.
while she's in their room, her and Bo's room, she goes into Acker and Hollis's room.
She runs her hand like down Acker's scar from where Kai stabbed him.
Mm,
And then that's where I guess he has his fighter reaction to flip her on her back. And then they end up
have
kind of cuddling from there, right?
Yeah, because sorry, Hollis goes into their room because Bo's drunk. And so
Hmm.
there's kind of a sweet moment where Hollis goes in there and is, cradling her head and things like that. So it
Yeah.
seems like he's comforted her before, which kind of goes off of your little prediction or
Yes.
of them possibly having some sort of history. Yeah. So
Yeah.
now we actually know that they can project images to each other,
Yeah.
Jovi and Acker. So I think that's what he meant by the "let me show you." And going back to that kiss that they
Yeah. That
had,
moment.
yeah, so they're able to throw images into each other's minds, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But
There's a lot to this that even to the end of the book, I we still don't have all the answers as to how and why their bond works that way.
hmm
But but we're definitely getting little fragments here that
yeah.
just kind of keeps building. Like they can project into each other's minds. They can
hmm
also, she can project herself into like another like place to view
Yeah.
things. She,
Yeah.
there's a lot to. I think we fell on it's a combination of their bond and her powers, but it's not connected to being a light wielder
Mm-mm.
because
Yeah.
as well as far as we know, right? I mean, that could be the other thing. As far as we know, Acker can't do what she did at that kind of campfire site,
hmm
but maybe he can.
Right. The actual putting yourself in another location type of projection. We know he can put images in someone's mind, but
Right.
Jovi's the only one that can actually yeah, throw her body, which is
Right.
interesting.
It's with the information we have right now, Jovi has more abilities and powers in
hmm
like the projection and, all that kind of stuff than Acker does. But
Right.
that's where I kind of caught myself. It was like, well, maybe we just haven't been told yet that
Right.
Acker has that ability too. And that would sort of answer whether or not this is solely Bond or if this is also just a special subset of powers for
Right.
Jovi. And
hmm
if they are a special subset of powers, is there more to her and her powers? Because being it would have nothing to do with being a light wielder. So what else don't we know about her?
Does she have more
Yeah.
powers?
And if so, why? But for 42, is there anything else? I mean, there's like I have, just that what you said that she traveled while she was sleeping and that there was then tension in bed with Acker. But I don't
Well,
really have anything.
the one that I thought maybe we could talk about is it's kind of weird because he talks about how she hasn't really accepted the match yet. And he's
Yeah.
like, how much more do I have to do? I killed for you. I did all these things for you. And it's like, bro.
Yeah.
Going back to the what is his intention? is he trying to be persuasive like Kai was? Like, what's with this push of like needing to be be matched, or you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I just kind of got weird, icky vibes from that.
A little bit. And even with what we know at the ending of the book, I was grappling with this, but I think I fell on that as much as there's part of me that with this ending that really feels for Acker, I don't know necessarily that that the ending of this book necessarily means that Acker is 100% the just good guy in love. I'm trying to like fight against the, natural pull and reaction within myself to just be like, that's the good guy. That's the bad guy.
Right.
It's
Clearly, we're
like
being stirred into a certain direction.
totally.
Yeah. And so now we must be aware
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
nothing is as it seems.
Yeah, and like the type of language that he uses, we're matched, it's a foregone conclusion. It brought me back to that moment that you brought up again in the forest where she had her light moment and she had this internal monologue that was basically speaking to how tired she is of being like attempted to be controlled by men. And we were like, besides Kai and his dad, like who are you talking about? So that left that open ended for me. I have a lot of stuff in this book where I write suspicious. Now there
Yeah.
there are things that I think I'm wrong about based on the ending,
Yeah.
but I was like suspicious.
Yeah. I put, because she said, what did she say? Something about trepidations. And I was like, I have trepidations too, girl.
I love that.
Yeah. Like, seriously.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that. Well, I think that's it for
Yeah.
42.
Okay, well, chapter 43. So they're back on the horses. Jovi's back riding with Acker, and then
Hmm.
Hollis and Bode are together. Apparently, their bond, now that they've slept in the same bed together, is extra strong.
Right, right.
Acker uses the word throbbing. They then come across the general of Mei Li, who tries to take Jovi, or at least, yeah, take her,
Hmm.
and basically turn her in so that they can be pardoned. Acker says no, kind of says, hey, we're matched. We're gonna try to figure this out. And basically proves it by doing the blood oath and saying that he will protect her till he dies. And so he's
And I
bonded
quote,
for life.
Jovinia, Princess of Meili, is my match. With this oath, I swear to protect her until my dying breath.
Hmm.
Now, the fantasy skeptic in me now is like, he said until his dying breath. So does he try to in the future kill her at his dying breath? Like, is it inclusive of the dying breath, or
Mm.
does it up to the dying breath?
Who
I
knows?
don't know. I'm just like that was a thought I had before I read any further. And I could still be super wrong. Like this is so the ending is so open-ended.
Yeah. I made a note that, and this is before we came to the ending, but I put Jovi is so naive, an unreliable narrator. And I think I got that because she like didn't understand while Hollis and Bo are freaking out about this blood oath.
Yeah.
Jovi's like, he loves me, like, and really didn't understand like the gravity of what he had just done. So I mean, that was an interesting thing that I picked up on.
Yeah. It gave there's a specific scene from a movie or TV show that I can't place right now where she's just la 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 and
Yeah.
everyone else is like
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
So my question here, because again, I'm a passive reader and I'm missing context all the time, is so they're out riding around trying to ride towards, are they at this point when they're riding, are they riding toward his kingdom or hers?
His.
That's what I thought.
Hmm.
But then they just randomly get intercepted by her mom's men, so her
Hmm.
kingdom's men.
Yeah.
And they're saying, no, no, we're going to take you now. And she goes, no, no, no. I will be there in 3 days' time, which is hilarious because as the chapters go on, I was like, hasn't she been there for like a week?
No,
It felt
it
like a
felt, oh
week to
yeah,
me.
there
It
was
was
a
like,
lot. There
how
was a lot
many
going on.
things are happening in a
Yeah.
day at this place?
Yeah.
Jeez. But okay, so that whole part to me was like, I think that's what happened, but it just
Mhm.
didn't feel super clear to me. The thing I have underlined, like, and I've circled angrily, and I put what WTF,
Yeah.
circle, 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 is when she's like, it's page 356. It's where she's motioning for Acker to hand her dagger to her, give it to her mother. And then I couldn't, was it the soldier that said dang rabbits, or was it Acker
Yeah.
who said it?
No, I was a soldier.
Okay. But then it says he smiles then, and I recognize it. The affinity between him and Ren. The way his lips part, the crinkle around his nose, the shape of his teeth. I keep the revelation to myself, but return the smile.
Ooh. Who is she talking about? The general?
That's that's what I was kind of wanting to clarify.
What pa sorry, what page?
356. So I was like, okay, como?
Yeah.
Monday?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like, who? Who are you? Who are you talking about?
She's definitely talking. I mean, she's talking about the general. So,
I think she is, because go ahead
yeah.
and make it two. Anything more than a day, she'll have my head.
Interesting.
Why does he look like Ren?
Ren. I got
As
nothing.
like goosebumps are spreading over my body as I'm going over this.
I got nothing.
Like, is
I mean, if we get ahead of ourselves, should we
yeah,
get ahead of ourselves?
we can. Whatever you want to do.
Technically, they're
Have it.
allies then.
Who and who?
Melee and
His in whatever Acker's
Alaha.
kingdom is,
Yeah.
or
No,
Alha. Oh, okay.
Alaha. Ren, right?
Well, okay, I'm gonna tell you what was happening in my head, and I don't know if this is the dumbest thing I've ever said or the smartest. It's one of the
Go
two.
for it.
There's no in between. So you know how there was like that whole thing where the person who kidnapped her
Hmm.
was like,
What was
was
his name? It was like it started with a C. Ch
yeah,
Chase. Yeah, something like that.
I was like, and again, I don't think this is giving away the ending, and we totally can. If it gets too hard to talk about it without just saying the ending, then like let's just stop and have the moment and like do
Yeah.
what you wanted to do at the beginning. But was it like a huge like coordinated, not conspiracy, plan? Like is there some sort of relationship between Ren and the melee, and maybe he's actually related to this person, and
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
We
I
we
don't
don't
know.
we don't know anything. I feel like we got just drop this bomb and like, oh, you don't get anything else.
You know what? I actually, okay, the best summary for the end of this book is the end of Finding Nemo, where they like this huge journey. They got out the window, they're in the little baggies, they drop into the ocean in their little baggies. They
Yeah.
just,
And we
and
don't
then
know
they
what
go,
happened to,
now what? That's exactly what
yeah. Yeah.
we should insert a clip of that here.
Yeah. There is absolutely nothing given to us
Well,
after.
well, what do you think? Do we need to reveal the ending? Is it getting too hard to talk about it? Or let's say this. We won't dance around it. If there's something we need to say,
Yeah.
then say it
This is gonna
for
be a horrible
for
episode, but it's fine.
probably
It's
would have been better
fine.
if we went with what you said.
It's
Um,
okay. Yeah.
don't dance. And
Don't dance.
if we are dancing, don't, and
Yeah.
then we'll just reveal.
Okay. Anything else? Chapter 44 or 43?
No.
So, chapter 44.
So this
What
is
we got?
where, correct me if I'm wrong, they're riding through the town,
Hmm.
being escorted to Acker's father, the king. And they kind of have to like really kind of shield her and protect her because people are very fearful of her and people are not liking that they're seeing Acker with her instead of Princess of Stru.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that played in my head was like Game of Thrones. Shame, shame.
Yeah,
Yeah, just like
yeah.
walking through the town and yeah, people getting ready to throw shit at her or just talk horribly to her. So, yeah, they're not happy about her being there, thinking she's dangerous.
But the people love Acker. Love him.
Yes.
Children are crying.
Yeah, he is the love of the kingdom. And then so Jovi meets the king, Acker's dad. She has to like bow and stuff. And then Acker's getting ready to say, "Hey, this is my match." But King is like, "No, let them
Yeah.
rest." So he doesn't get a chance to put everything out there.
Yeah, and you can tell the only other thing I would add is that you can tell she's really annoyed about the whole bowing situation. That's it. I don't even know that there's a lot in that chapter beyond like
Yeah.
there's clearly like love between Acker and his dad, but he's also his king, as is true in any book with kings and
hmm
queens. So it's like that weird relationship. And you kind of get the sense in this that the king is going to be like kind and welcoming, but then when he like tamps down on the like, no, 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 we'll talk about that later, it leaves a question mark in your mind at the end of the chapter, but you're overall left with like hope that this is all going to go as planned. That's how I felt.
Yeah, I mean, nothing really brings like red flags about the king at this point.
Mm-hmm.
He's a king. Obviously, everyone has to bow to him, and he basically or Jovi apologizes about her power or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, like don't worry about it. Please excuse my people. Like they're kind of scared. They can be kind of mean at times and all these things." So, yeah, no like nothing glaringly evil about this king during this first
Yeah.
meeting.
They have a long embrace.
Yeah.
Jovi, well, Acker and his dad have a long
Mhm.
embrace, and she's like, "Oh, I've never really seen this side
Side
to
of
him. I've
him.
never thought of him
Mhm.
as a son."
Yeah,
That's it.
that's
I don't
it.
really have anything else in there.
Yeah, I mean, just a side note that basically everyone in the palace is terrified of Jovi. Like, does not want
Yeah,
to wait on her, anything like that. Just because I think she was glowing when she was, yeah, like throughout this whole thing. So
right. Word
nice.
travels fast in this kingdom.
Dang, it's the help, man.
Oh,
Okay.
that's right. She did. Sorry, she had tomato on her. That was a big
Mhm.
thing. Like people were throwing vegetables at her, and that was part of why she was so angry
Pissed,
in
yeah.
this moment. So,
Yeah. Well, 45 kind of continues that. So Jovi gets to her room, she showers, she skips excuse me, and then Bo basically told her that she's in charge of accompanying her everywhere because servants are terrified. And then s- she, even though she skips dinner, she goes to sleep and she ends up at the dinner where Acker is at with a
yeah.
whole bunch of people. And he's talking to a girl. And so she decides to test the bond. So she like goes up to him and tries to make him feel guilty and stuff like that.
I saw someone talking about, I can't remember if it was this scene, but I saw someone on TikTok that was like reading one of the scenes where she like projects herself but no one else can see her kind of
hmm
thing. And
hmm
they were like they were like, "Oh, oh shit."
Yeah.
What's her big deal? So, okay, I consider myself to be someone who knows their worth, and I don't think anyone likes being controlled by anybody. But like these, some FMCs, they really get this whole like page 369 in italicized words, escorting me. She's like outraged that she needs to be escorted. Maybe I'm interpreting the text wrong, but it's like, girl, you're glowing and you barely know how to control your power. Do I think that means people have the right to treat you poorly? No, but as far as you know, they're having someone escort you so that others don't treat you badly.
I also got it as like bro, you don't know where the fuck you're going. Like, have someone escort you.
Yeah, can we chill? Like, sure, this is a fantasy fiction read, so there's always the chance that they really want her to be escorted because they want to keep an eye on her, right? But
Hmm.
cloak it and escort. But like, chill,
Yeah.
chill.
And also it's Bo. Yeah, it's your friend. Like,
It's like, what is this? Just girl, you're
yeah.
glowing. You decimated a forest. You don't know what your powers are. You're just figuring them out.
Yeah.
And these are townspeople. They're freaking a little nervous. Like, chill.
Yeah, she's sensitive.
A little bit, a little bit. Trying to think if there's anything else in here. I mean, oh, this is where she also gets kind of sassy about the like meeting my match's father alone, covered in tomato before all the royal court, where I was laughed at for being a juvenile in my gift. Girl, you are a juvenile in your gift. Again, people don't get to laugh at you or be unkind to you, but you are a juvenile in your like. Can we have some self-awareness? That's kind of my issue here.
Yeah, I mean, she just really makes him feel bad.
You stranded me before your what was he supposed to do is my question.
Yeah.
Like they just got back from like this long journey, been through hell and back.
He went to go hug his dad. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
you're gonna
forgive the
stay
man.
there.
I don't this this just read dumb to me. I was like,
Right.
come on. And yeah, no, do I agree, honey, with the fact that you got a tomato thrown at you? No. But what did you want me to do? Tell the king that you need to go bathe before you That's not how
Yeah.
this works. Like,
Yeah.
I liked that line, which who is she talking to? Where they were like, he said he nothing about our lives is fair, Jovi. It's like, yeah, can we wake up a little bit? I don't know. It was really frustrating for me.
Yeah. And she just piled it on him. She was also like half naked. And there was, I put, God, the sexual tension. Please put me out of my misery.
Wait, which scene? When she
There's,
projected herself or when
yeah.
she was
Yeah, no, at the dinner, he's like, she has something on, but not a lot on.
it's like a
Um,
see-through nightie probably or something
mhm.
like that.
Yeah. And then he goes to her bed because he said, yeah. He said, I told you once we reach the palace, I'd sleep where you sleep.
Cute.
So,
46?
chapter 46. Yeah. So she had the best sleep of her life, apparently,
Mm-hmm.
sleeping next to Acker. Bo accompanies Jovi around the palace. One of her guards doesn't like her, very obvious.
Gets real
And then
sassy.
real sassy. And then they end up in the library and we meet Bo's mother, who is the librarian, and the king.
Greta.
Yeah, and the king's consort. So half siblings. What else? And then Jovi searches for a book on matching bonds and light wielders.
Mm-hmm.
She sees Irina, who is the princess of Stru, and she's pissed.
Yeah. Which I have questions about considering the end of the book. I've got
Go ahead.
questions.
Well, okay, yeah. What?
Well, just like, is this honest jealousy? Is it, or actually, maybe that's the question. Is it jealousy or is it anger for other reasons? Like, is it
I
a
don't
piece
know.
of the puzzle she didn't know about? And so therefore it's like kind of messing with her thoughts on how her future will
Right.
go.
Or is it he's my match, so why is there another woman?
Like, what's the motive
Mhm.
behind the feeling that she's
Mhm.
having here?
Good point. We don't know.
And doesn't it twist the knife that Princess of Stru is like apparently just absolutely stunning, glowing sunlight.
Pretty.
I don't know, in my
Yeah.
head I kind of pictured like Princess Peach, but if she was a
Yeah.
person,
Yeah.
that's kind
I
of what I
see it.
pictured with
Like
this.
an actual princess.
That's it
Yeah. That is
for
it.
that. This is good
Uh
because I feel like the ending's gonna
I know
take
it's gonna
us a
take
minute to
forever.
talk through, so we
Yeah,
should keep charging ahead.
we're getting there. Okay, so chapter 47. Acker and Jovi essentially fight about Irina, and Acker fucking ties her to the bed
Yeah.
using the metal. things over bed. And so they have a
This
little bit of a
started to scratch Kim's itch. What she wanted to see put me out of my misery, she
some
says.
BDSM, why don't you? And then they get over their little fight. Jovi mentions the guard, the guard doesn't like her, she doesn't like him, and so Acker dismisses him. And then basically they ride to see the blacksmith
Yes, Acker's dear friend,
friend.
who
Yes.
also, well, we'll talk about that.
But that's pretty much it for that one.
Yeah, because all these chapters they're not of no consequence, right? But we do have these couple of chapters where you're reading them and you're trying to understand how they add to the story.
Hmm.
And I'm not even quite sure that I've figured out how these necessarily add to the story.
The chapters in general.
Just like the last three, four, the
Yeah.
ones we're able to kind of charge through pretty quickly. Like,
Yeah.
what is Rachel trying to show us or tell us that we need to know for the sake of the story in each of these? And I mean, this one's pretty clear. She wants to show us that they're able to have conflict and resolved, and that it's getting deeper and a little spicier and
Hmm.
all of that. But in the library one, like, yeah, she's gonna get these books, and she saw Princess of Shrew, and now it's
Hmm.
eliciting these feelings. But I guess I'm thinking of the two prior, but also the upcoming one where they go and they hang out with this sweet little blacksmith family that knows her. Like, I was trying to think that through. So as we go to that chapter, if you have any thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think a couple things. One, being introduced to Greta. I think that was like the main point of that chapter because she does play a big role eventually. Irina, yeah, I think that one's kind of stupid. Like, I think it's showing that she is jealous and that she is falling in love with Acker, like
Mm-hmm.
cares about, you know what I mean? She's the one that hasn't accepted this matching bond yet. And so I guess we're seeing that progression of like,
Yeah.
yeah, she's falling for him eventually. And now that they're sleeping in the same bed, like it's gonna be sexy time soon. Is all I'm
Kid's excited.
I know. It was a
It's
long
getting
time.
close. The
Yeah.
tension is tensioning.
But I think that's it.
Yep.
The blacksmith chapter, so that's chapter 48. This next chapter was sweet. We meet the blacksmith Wells and his wife Olivia, and they talk about matches because they themselves are a match.
Yeah.
And Olivia seemed to know them as children, so she kind of predicted this
Mm-hmm.
match for them, which was sweet. And then it's revealed that before we thought that bonds only happen between heirs, but that's
Yeah.
not the case. So
Yep.
commoners can have bond matches as well. But those are like frowned upon, so they're kept secret.
Yeah. And so in this couple between the blacksmith and this woman, Olivia, right? That she's the one who has powers and he does not, correct?
Hmm.
And remind me, because again, this was weeks ago, what was her particular power?
I do not remember.
Okay. But I wonder, like, combining your summary with even my question from a minute ago, I think it's interesting that Rachel wanted us to know that you could have a bond between, like, non-heirs. I guess non-magicals?
Yeah, gifted. Gifted and then giftless. The gifted and the giftless is how they worded it.
That's one thing that I think I need to at some point clarify for myself in this book and this read, is because we clarified in a previous episode, we were talking about who gets powers, and
Yeah.
that I'm a little bit, I guess, unclear in general is who gets it. Sounds like there's different tiers to powers, that you can just be a layperson, have a power, like by that being meaning you're not an heir, but that
Mm-hmm.
if you're an heir, you're an elemental.
Mm-hmm.
And then how does the universe decide which non-heirs get powers?
I don't know. I
Okay.
think it's like a Mother Nature. awakening thing. So I think they said that Olivia never awoke, right? I think that's what
Oh yeah, there was something like that.
she didn't have an awakening, which is why her nobility family disowned her,
Right.
along with marrying or matching with Wells, who also was not gifted.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that makes sense. The was there anything else about their relationship or the conversations that were happening besides just talking about matching bonds that we need to touch on?
I think that was the main thing was the bonds.
Okay. If we're done with that part of the conversation,
Hmm.
the only other thing that stood out was it looks like Rachel was trying to show that there's a cruelty associated with this kingdom because at the end she sees that the arching gates that she saw for the palace before are actually, when she gets to clearer view, the cages hanging along the palace walls. I realized what I thought were animals are not animals at all, they're people.
Yeah, so
So
I think I think those are the people who, and I forget how the king worded it, but punishing people who were acting, I don't know if it was against Jovi or what it was, but yeah, people who are going against whatever were basically killed and put up on the wall.
I might have missed that because I thought that these were people who didn't report their powers.
That too, but there was, and that was the king talking. So that could have been
Right.
like a lie also. But yeah, no, that too, for not reporting your gift or whatever, because it was dangerous. But he also mentioned, yeah, we'll punish those who, I don't know. That was my initial thought too. But
Which is so interesting because he doesn't support her and Acker being together, but he has an alliance to maybe the Melee Kingdom.
I don't know, actually. But yeah, so people are dying. Not fun. The only other thing about the bonds is that one person is likely to accept the bond first over the other, and then the
Yeah.
bond essentially forces you to be together, which is kind of their explanation for why she keeps going into the dreams. And they say the dreams are the first thing that happens, but they also never heard of the projecting thing before.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
you're
that's
so
a
right.
that's a new, I don't know if it's just that, like they say that mating bonds are different for everybody, so this could just be a an Acker
Hmm.
Jovi thing, but we also just don't know why, they don't know why it happens or any of
Well,
that.
that brings up our point from earlier, which is this something that just Jovi can do in this bond?
Hmm.
Um, or is it something outside of the bond? Or can Acker do it too, but he's
Hmm.
just not doing it with her? So she hasn't seen it, therefore she thinks she's the only one when we think she's the only one who can do that.
I don't know.
Good point. 49.
Chapter 49. All right. Nothing too crazy. Jovi trains in this one. So Acker wants her to do like swordsmanship or whatever, but Jovi sees like the rest of the soldiers or whatever conditioning
Yeah.
instead. And she's like, I'm gonna do that. And so she doesn't want special treatment. So she does the conditioning with them. And then she gets pissed off because she doesn't get picked to spar with anybody and show off her skills. And so she fights Acker instead, who pretty easily takes her down. But then she unleashes a bit of her power on him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she's able to wield her light, which is the first time she's actually used it as like a weapon.
Again, I'm a fan of FMCs
Yeah,
because we are FMCs, but just the like, no one picked me.
right.
It's just like,
Someone fight me now.
yeah, I am tough. It's like, actually, no one said you're not. In
Right.
fact, people probably didn't pick you because you are, again, something you have not accepted, juvenile in your power. People don't want
Right.
to fight you when they don't think you have control over your terrifying gift.
And also, she was literally about to throw up from all the conditioning. Like, she was in no condition to actually succeed in a sparring match with anybody.
People are like, I don't want to get barfed on.
Bro, you're dying. Look at you. Like, let's say this for another day. Let me do you a
It's
favor.
it's giving
Excuse me.
it's giving whatchamacallit from Monty Python, where it's like, "'Tis a flesh wound," and he has no limbs. And they're like, "Bro, no, no, we're not gonna fight
Actually,
you." But also paired with you have a very new and potentially very fickle and a little bit scary power.
yeah.
So I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna fight Bob.
Yeah.
I know Bob. I know how Bob fights.
Chill out, girl. Chill
It's a
out.
little bit, as the youngins say, it's a little like she is the female main character, but it's giving like, I will not be the female main character for
Mm,
any period of time. Make me the
right.
center.
Yeah.
Just a little pick me ish.
Yes. I don't know about Jovi anymore these days.
We got questions.
Yeah, questions. Okay. Are we good with chapter 49?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, chapter 50. Jovi summons her dagger because it's been a few days and she sees her mom.
Yeah.
She has a reaction to that. Her mom only says Joe and then she disappears or whatever. This is also the chapter where we learn about the blood bond.
Yeah.
And so basically anyone who creates a blood oath while lying kills both of the people.
Yeah.
So confirms that Acker does indeed love her.
Yeah.
Because one, they're both still alive. Yeah, he basically did that saying that he loved her, has to protect her forever. So there you go.
So, because this is the way that my brain works, and it's very, very irritating for people, they're like, not everything is a picture or a meme or something like that. But I know you don't watch Love Island.
No.
I've been watching it. This
Okay.
reminds me very much so of a character, not a character, a real human
It's
being
actually
who's on the
yeah.
show,
Yeah.
not a character. Switch gears, Megan. And she says all this stuff where she's like, I am not the type of girl to be like, oh, you think I'm pretty? And she says that in like the confessional booth. But then there's literally footage of her out in the villa being
Yeah.
like, oh, you do that for me?
Yeah.
And they're like, which one is it? Which one is it?
Yeah.
And that's kind of this for me a little bit. There's a little bit of the like, she's like, I don't need nobody. I'm gonna do all the things myself. But also, nobody loves me. I don't know. Maybe I just have issues with I was getting the ick for different characters before, and now I'm getting like a little bit of an ick for Jovi and her like,
Yeah.
no, I'm tough, but why do you need to escort me? But also,
He loves me.
he loves me.
Yeah.
People can be multifaceted. I get it, but
Absolutely.
maybe it's the ending of the book for me. I don't know.
Yeah. We're getting there.
We're getting there. We're so close. So
We're
close.
so close.
That's really it for that chapter. So
Yeah.
51.
Yeah, chapter 51. Oh, sexy time. The first sexy time. Okay, so Jovi is and they call this melding. To be able to project themselves or their yeah at Acker's dinner with like a whole bunch of guards or generals. And she is wearing close to nothing, nothing, close to
Mm-hmm.
nothing. And this is where they do stuff without her actually being there. So funny. So I've read this twice already because I did a reread. And I was really trying to picture like how is this happening?
Yeah.
How, because he's sitting on a chair
Yeah.
and she's somehow in front of him and he's using his hand to touch her as well as the wine glass.
That's funny.
And I'm just, what? The whole I couldn't I still can't really imagine it. But anyways, he gets her off in front of basically in front of people without others knowing. A bit of voyeurism, if you will. And before anything actually happens, he actually sends a servant to go check on her because I don't even know why he did that.
I don't know why, what the like impetus for that was, but
Yeah.
I think because he knows because she's projecting herself that and she couldn't answer the question. He was like, "Are you sleeping?" And she's like, "I don't know."
Oh, right. And she was in the tub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I
Okay.
think
That makes
he
sense.
was like, "Well, if you don't know, then I'm gonna have someone go check on your body." That's
Yeah.
my
Great
guess.
point. Yeah. No, that sounds right. And so, yeah, they do some touchy touchy and she gets off and he's pissed because when he runs to go find her, she's not in her body, basically.
Yeah.
She's unconscious. And that's kind of how it ends.
But didn't he know? Like, what did he think? Her body was conscious, walking around, having conversations while she's also projecting herself invisibly?
Say that again?
Like, so he was mad that her body, that she was on her physical body was unconscious while she was projecting herself, right? It
Yeah.
was like, what did he think? Did he think that her, did he think that she was able to just continue operating as a human being, walking around, having conversations, whatever, while also projecting herself into a room and like, kind of like diddling each other?
I think he's pissed because she still hasn't accepted this bond and now it's like and you know what I mean? Now it's forcing her to be with him and causing her to do to be
Okay.
unconscious and like
Yeah,
whether
so
or not
he's
she's
like, you're gonna
sleeping.
need to figure this out.
Yeah. Because now it's just getting to a point where she can't even control it. The bond it says the bond wants us together. As long as I'm
Hmm.
near you, it'll keep me here. And now now it's happening in front of people where he can't. And the next chapter shows why he's pissed. Anything else for chapter 51? Or just
No, because that seems like a nice transition into 52.
yeah. Yeah. Well, 52, he's just pissed because the first time he sees her naked, she's not actually in front of him. And the first time he gets her off, she's actually not in flesh.
I
Um,
Okay, keep going.
no. That's pretty much it. He's pissed. He's pissed about it.
Oh my God, I love myself.
What? Go ahead.
Bottom of 435,
Yeah.
where he says, like, I couldn't touch you. I could almost taste you on the edge of the glass, but I couldn't have you. I, I drew an arrow down to the bottom and just said, cry me a river. Is
Uh,
so like, there's such a fine line between loving someone so deeply and passionately and just being either really annoying about it or low key, like kind of possessive in an unhealthy way. And this to me was like, I think it was trying to give the first, which is just like, it's so passionate. Like, I wanted it. And it's like, it's
romantic.
you and
Yeah.
I, and it's romantic.
Yeah.
But it didn't give that for me. Like, I still believe that that's who Acker is the guy who's just deeply in love with her and wants to be with her and
Yeah.
wants everything a certain way with the two of them, but it didn't give that for me. It gave like, ew. I don't know. What did you think? Did you love it? Tell me you loved it.
I loved it. It's wait, what did I put?
I saw your face as I was saying that, and you were just like this, just disagreeing.
What did I write? So I put it was a sweet sentiment.
That's hilarious.
And then I put pretending. What did I put pretending? I don't know. But anyways, I because this was such a slow burn, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
literally the last 5 chapters of this book that they
yeah.
finally get to that point. I felt for the man. Felt for him. But also like like I said, I'm just still so confused about how this projection thing works. To have to hold that constraint in front of like a table of other men
Yeah,
is crazy.
that's wild.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? My brain is so annoying. I'm thinking Wedding Crashers, the under the table scene.
Yeah.
Where that's what I'm
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
picturing moving
yeah.
forward.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And he's just like, yes, yes, war, relationships.
Yeah.
He's all the while really struggling.
Yeah. But also, okay, this is Jovi still not accepting this bond. He's already frustrated. Like, what more do I have to do? And now she's like fucking with him a little bit by
Yeah.
turning him on while he's in the middle of a dinner. And yeah, I'd be pissed too.
At this point, with what Acker knows and all of that, he's just like, there's this woman I love. Think she loves me. She says, I love you in this chapter. She
Yeah,
says,
she finally does say it.
I thought I had the part, but I don't. But she literally says it.
Yeah.
She's like, okay. So now I'm understandably, he's getting like, what else do you need? What
hmm
else? You love me, you're projecting, we're like having projection boinking in front of other people. Like what do you need? And so for that reason it's a little from his perspective at this point in the book, he's like, this is feeling kind of toxic. Like you're
Yeah.
toying with me.
Yeah. And that's I think that's why I put it that she was fucking with him, question mark. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. That was the vibe I got. But she finally says I love you, and then they have real sexy times. So,
I have so many questions that I can't say right now.
okay. But he was also he it was her first time. He was gentle and consenting, so always asking, tell me to
Hmm.
stop, all these things. So, Dub Acker.
They go for it again, but in person in this chapter? No? Am I making that up?
Yeah, the first time.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
real,
Yeah, yeah.
real, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Real.
Okay.
After that, I mean, I think that's all chapter 52.
And ends with I kiss him, knowing nothing lasts forever. Again, one of those dumb things that she slipped in that other chapter, like 20 chapters ago, where you were
hmm
like, we were both like, what the?
Yeah,
What do you mean? What? It's coming.
it is coming. Okay,
53.
getting closer. Chapter 53. So, Acker is melding now and
Hmm.
shows up in the library where Bryn is, or Jovi. I put, now these two are insatiable because they get it on in the library
Yeah.
while he's melding this time. And then Hollis and Jovi spar. She uses her power on Hollis. He still gets or she still gets beat, I believe. Yeah, she still gets beat. Cut up by
Yeah.
him. But that's all I got.
Oh, they teach her how to diffuse a little bit. It's like top of 449. She said there's no control over it. And she's like, he said that's not true. I've watched you diffuse your own gift to keep it from getting out of hand many times. It's easier to turn on a faucet than it is to stop it from running, though.
She still doesn't have much control over her power at this point.
At the end of this chapter, can you read this or no?
What? What the fuck was the point of this chapter? I can't read the second part.
Is she just walking everywhere outside of her body? Like, she's so unhinged right now. She's just like,
Yeah.
just and bloop, I'm gonna go over there in my little melding situation.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so a lot of kind of pointless chapters, maybe a little
There's a
sort of
couple,
thing.
like, again, I don't necessarily think I can easily point out the point of them at that point, or even
Mm-hmm.
now. There
Mm-hmm.
must be a point. 54.
Must be. Chapter 54. Greta shows Jovi a picture of her mother, who is an elemental heir.
Mm-hmm.
Her dad isn't an heir, which is a surprise to her.
Mm-hmm.
And then Acker's mother, big reveal, is Grenadine from
Yeah,
her
what?
her neighbor in Alaha.
The literally the crotchety old lady who
Yeah.
lives like underneath her or next to her, I forget.
Yeah.
What is she doing there?
Thus.
Do you have any theories at this point in
I
time? Like when you at this point in the book, even after, I don't even know what my theories are.
I don't. I really have no idea what she could be doing. Was she in on Jovi's kidnapping? She was there to look out for her or not? I don't know.
Is she like a was she supposed to be like a spy?
Who knows? But also, where does Acker think his mom is? Do we know? I don't
No.
remember. Yeah.
Lots of holes. I will say the audiobook came out. I'm gonna wait for the price to drop a little bit. But when I listen to that back through, I'm hoping that some of our questions are
Hidden in
answered
there. Yeah,
just
yeah.
by nature of hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
And but I mean, that's huge. Tons of potential theories.
Hmm.
But I haven't even thought them all through. I'm just like I'm still stuck in the ocean in my little fish bag. Like,
Yeah. No, there's
what?
there's absolutely no I can't even guess, to be quite honest. Like I don't yeah, I don't know why that could be. Also, the king denies Acker the marriage to Jovi and says, too
Yeah.
bad. Nope, too bad. So,
He tries to really make his case and did I'm trying to remember, did he really say why? Like what his main was it just the honor of like, no, you've done this, like we're not undoing this?
yeah, pretty much. Because, I mean, Acker had some good points, right? The Melee army is bigger, all these things. He doesn't care about a love match.
Like there were some beyond it being the match, him loving her, all of that. There were some points that he made that were logistical, were, had benefits for the kingdom, but it sounds like I can't remember why the king was just like, nah.
Yeah, it sounds like Acker's wanting to like negotiate a new alliance with Jovi's mother, and the king is just like, nah, like
Oh,
she won't do it. She hates,
yeah.
our people or whatever. So, no,
Okay.
that's
55.
55. Okay, we're getting to
We're
the
getting close.
stuff. So, okay. Oh my God, this is crazy. This is the chapter of the big dinner. Jovi's all dressed up. She is basically going to this dinner, and Acker's kind of having her walk with him to make a point
Yeah.
to the
It's like,
king. I don't care. She's on my hand, or she's on my arm.
yeah.
Yeah,
Princess
making
Estrue sitting by herself.
she did no, she doesn't even have a place to sit.
Oh, that's
She
right.
she
That's
didn't even
right.
sit down. She did not
Yeah.
even sit down. So definitely making a statement.
Just a little cruel. A little cruel. Like I get it. I understand.
Yeah.
But that sucks to be that collateral damage.
Anything else in this chapter?
So I have something underlined here on 467. I was wrong to be scared of Acker when he sat on the throne upon our arrival, when I'm on his side of the equation. So I wrote, when is she going to be on the wrong side of the equation?
Dun dun dun.
Gosh, I'm good. But I'm also not. There's
But yeah,
plenty of times where I've not been good.
yeah. Well, she also sees the people just how much they love Acker. They say all
Yeah.
hail the Prince of Kenta. So at this
Yeah.
point, it's like the king, she doesn't even really care if like the king is yeah, he has power, but not like how
Hmm.
influential Acker is. Good for him.
I did write, again, my feelings stay true and they last because on the final page of the chapter, I wrote, he's fine to humiliate her. And by her, I meant Princess of Stru. It's like,
Acker is.
yeah, he
Hmm.
didn't do a thing, as far as we know, to warn her. Has he said anything to Princess of Stru on the back end? Has he gone to her separately and said, like, look, my match is here. I know we're like betrothed, but I'm gonna try for this. And
I
if this
mean, who
doesn't
knows?
work,
Yeah.
then sure. And if you're still willing, but and someone could say, well, there's risk in that because then he's showing his card. He's showing his cards this way in a much
Hmm.
more cruel public way.
Yeah.
So there's a little part of me, some of Acker's actions to me are a little bit confusing because he's super willing to just have Princess of Stru be humiliated. No forewarning. Like there are other MMCs that I can think of who would be like, this is my woman and this is what's going to happen. But they also would be the type of person to go and just like, we're going fourth wing again, Zayden with
Yeah.
Katrina.
Hmm.
That, that whole fighting match between the two of them. Spoiler, don't listen if you haven't listened to Red Fourth Wing. But, even in that moment, he could have just stood up in front of everyone when the two girls are fighting each other and they're like
Hmm.
hissing back and forth all these mean things. He could have just been like, Cat, I don't want you, and Violet, I want you, in front of everyone. But he didn't. He just pulled Violet aside and said, there's no point. I'm yours.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right? So he could have involved embarrassment and humiliation, and he didn't. Whereas Acker's fine with it. He's just cool with it, is my point. I'm a little uncomfortable with that.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, he's trying to make a statement to his dad. Fuck it. Like, this is how it's gonna be. I don't care about anything else. So, yeah, I mean, it's cruel, but
Yeah.
he's a prince.
Oh, Princey boy.
He's a prince. Okay.
56, 56. Okay.
Okay, the big guns. Okay. So
Okay.
I was reading this in bed that night because you had
Yeah.
already read it and you're like,
Yeah.
you're like, fuck,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
So I was reading this in bed and I read the first line and I got goosebumps. I was like, no, like, what
Yeah.
could this mean?
Yes.
The morning after the storm in Allaha, that was ages ago. What? So, okay.
I'm getting goosebumps all over
I
again. Like
know.
that, this moment came up and I was like, wait,
You start this
wait,
one off.
wait.
Yeah.
I mean, what do I say? Um, I mean, we go back to the morning after the storm, and it's conversation between Kai and Bryn at the time. And like, I don't know. I can't. You do it. you do it.
So,
You do it.
okay. So their conversation is this is after Bryn broke him out of uh the the thing that was flooding, the whatever they were in, the brig or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got your face.
I'm scared.
And so Kai's just kind of like, "What? You broke him out. He was supposed to die." Like that was kind of the plan. And she was like, "Wait, he thinks that you've manipulated me. Like he thinks I don't know about the powers or my bloodline or anything like that. Let's use this to our advantage." And Kai goes back to being the good guy. I mean, in his response to her, like, you don't know what he's capable of. Like, I don't want you to do that. Like, this isn't, and apparently Kai is the leader of the resistance. He is up there in still having your face. He is still he has a big role in this. And so he doesn't want Bryn to risk it because she's going to be sailing off with him doing God knows what and doesn't know what will happen when she finally gets to Kenta. But basically she wants to do this because it's the only way that she can get close to the king. And so the idea is that the messaging is going to be that the prince Acker has kidnapped her, and therefore this will hopefully spark some sort of alliance with Royson
Ugh.
So Alaha and Royson will be against Kenta.
Which Royson was the one that was originally accused of kidnapping her.
Correct. Correct. What the fuck? Like, it's crazy. But also, Kai apparently had taught Bryn how to shield from his father. So she
Yeah.
knows about everything. She is not, I guess is not manipulated at all. So, yeah, and she basically uses that moment where, he revealed that or Acker revealed that Kai used his influence to make her fall in love with him. And so she uses that as like kind of her way in, convinces him that she believes all that stuff and to go with him. So, what? That's crazy. So, everything we've known thus far, completely out the window. Like, we don't know shit anymore.
So, so so I guess I'm wondering if it would be a good idea for us to just go to 57 and 58, not 58, 57, and talk it all through after that, because I'm having that feeling all
Yeah.
over again where I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Let's
oh
yeah,
crap.
let's do chapter 57 because that's the last chapter, correct? Yeah.
Yes. I
Okay.
lied again earlier. I said through 58. It's not
Yeah.
through 58.
No.
Whoopsies.
So, okay, this is where it all goes down. So we're back at the dinner. Everyone's drunk, dancing, having a grand old time. Acker asks Bryn to marry him. Hmm. She cries because her heart is breaking. I wonder why. Hmm.
Hmm. Hmm.
Poison. That's what I wrote.
Poison.
That's what I wrote in my thing. So apparently everyone who's been drinking got poisoned and everyone is falling to the ground. So very much a red wedding fiasco.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones reference. The king is so she stops Acker from drinking. Um, oh, he's awake.
Are we're gonna do a quick
We're
everyone?
gonna
So many
pause.
big reveals right now.
We're gonna pause for a quick moment. Give me a second for the big announcement.
For the big announcement. Within the big announcement. Oh my god! I love him so much. Hi, baby.
This is my puppy. This is
This is
Enzo.
this is
This is
Angel.
Enzo. Hi, baby. He's awake. He's been sleeping for the past 2 hours.
Did you just have a good sleepy, baby?
He
Oh
had
my
a good nap.
goodness.
He had a good nap.
Oh, was that a good nap, baby? Oh, you're so pretty.
He's a good boy. He's learned how to eat his pee-pee pads. So that
Cool.
is the chaos he's been in for the past two
Yeah.
days. But he's also been sleeping a lot more. I left him alone for the first time yesterday while I went to
Yeah.
the gym, and he did good.
Good
He did so
boy.
good. But yeah, so I got a puppy
He's
last week. This
he's
this
so
is
cute.
this is why
Oh my god.
Big yawn, big yawn, big yawn. This is why it took so long to record this session because I've had to adjust to dog life, dog mom life.
Yeah.
But
That's why we had a little bit of a break in addition to other things.
yeah. Okay. I'm gonna put him back in his playpen while we
Hi,
finish.
little guy.
There
Yeah,
you
if we
go.
need to like cut and you play with him until he gets sleepy and then we come back, that's totally fine too.
I think he's okay. He's
Okay.
chilling. I'll give him a toy.
Little man gonna play with the toy while we finish.
Yeah, it's funny. It's
Yeah.
just a frozen rag.
Cute.
Like a washcloth that I
Well, it feels so
put
good
in.
on their little teethers and
Yeah. He
yeah,
loves it. It's the
so
cheapest toy I've
cute.
ever I've ever had to buy.
You really don't need toys. Just give them
Yeah,
old shoes that you
no,
don't
I
want
know.
and stuff like that.
Yeah. he loves a good shoelace. Um, okay, so poison. Everyone is poisoned. She stops Acker from drinking his glass,
Yeah.
but the king is over yonder unconscious after having drunk everything. So I guess the big reveal is that Bo is in this too. Also, that was a shocker to me.
Yeah. I have questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, Messer.
Right. Yeah. And then Messer was kind of there the whole time. Like he
Mhm.
was dressed up as a Kenta soldier and then rips people's throats off. Jovi essentially after they talk, and we can talk about kind of their discussion or whatever, but Jovi ends up stabbing the king mostly where his magic is. And I don't think he died. I think after Acker was like, "You owe me a life for Kai's life."
Yeah.
She spared him his actual life, so she stabbed him like where the magic is. And then Acker slaps Jovi after he kisses her. Basically kisses her goodbye. He feels the repercussions of that slap because blood
It's
oath,
not supposed to hurt her.
blood oath. And then that's kind of it. And then he tells her to leave before they kill both of them, meaning before he kills her and he dies too. So that's kind of where it ends. Just craziness. Yeah, same.
It's just that, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The only other thing I would add
Mhm.
is that, like you mentioned, we could go into their discussion a little bit.
Yeah.
So maybe we can just talk about that separately. But I felt this betrayal so deeply. Like the discussion helps shed light on the how and why she's doing this and why she's doing it the way she's doing it. But the fact remains, as far as we know, that Acker's done nothing wrong and he fell in love with her. She fell in love with him and she just bitch slapped him.
Yeah. Well, okay, let's talk about their discussion. So she wants him to take his father's throne.
Mhm.
She obviously all that stuff about him being the prince of the people like has this influence. She respects that, which great. Like her intention is not to kill him, but have him take
Yeah.
over the throne so that they can do whatever they need to do with the alliances and all those things. So, I don't know. It's she's basically telling him to usurp his dad, which we already know he loves his dad as a
Yeah.
king. So, I don't
Also,
know.
can he usurp his dad if his dad's alive?
I mean, he would no, because his dad would disown. I
Be
don't
like,
know. Yeah, that's true.
and
So
because
he,
he's sparing his dad, saying, "Spare my
yeah,
dad, you owe me a life,"
yeah,
that's very clearly going to complicate this
yeah,
plan.
yeah. So if she had just killed him, he would have no choice but to ascend the throne. But obviously he doesn't want his dad to die.
Well, and the reason behind all of this in their conversation, Jovi discloses that his dad, the king, is the one who wants war, who wants to take over all, to conquer all the lands that he can. She talks to him about how she's like, it's sad to me that you can't see your dad for who he really is.
Right.
He's caging up people who don't disclose their powers, who, he sees as a threat. She also says that she thinks that the day that she had to kneel before him,
Was an
that
influence
was an
thing.
influence, that his dad is
Hmm.
actually the one who has the power of influence,
Mm,
and that she thinks that he held her there because she tried to
mm.
get up and couldn't. And then Acker's like, well, you don't know my dad. He doesn't have those powers like that. And she goes, I don't think you know your dad. But let me ask you this. What? Okay, you're Acker.
Hmm.
All this stuff happened, like this with this person, and oh my gosh. What could possibly be done, if anything, to make you understand where she's coming from.
Nothing. I
Yeah.
think, I mean, as a reader, we feel betrayed, right? Like
Yeah.
he
Yes.
he felt all, you know what I mean? He was in it. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, like, I mean, feeling stupid and falling in love with someone and have them
Yeah.
not know who they, yeah, it's crazy. There's nothing. I don't I don't think, and especially if she's trying to kill your dad, like,
Yeah, I think what it comes down to is even if I'm Acker and let's pretend that, my Jovi comes to me and says, I have proof right here in my hands that
mm-hmm,
your father just in cold blood murdered thousands of people. It's right here.
mm-hmm,
There's no denying it. It's, you know, undeniable. And I go like, okay, still gonna have to sit on that for a while, but it
right,
still remains. You allowed yourself to fall in love with me. You allowed me to fall in love with you.
yeah.
We freaking boinked multiple times.
He's been looking for her for 10 years.
Like,
This is a long term, like, love. Yeah,
he's been in love with her for a long time and just what?
yeah,
I just there's there's no way to forgive that, right? Like there's no way to even the most you could ever get to is like, okay, if I had undeniable proof that my father the king is actually a horrible person, you could maybe with like centuries of time get to the place where you go like, I don't agree with what was done, but I can understand that, my father the king was oppressive and blah 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 blah. That's the most you could get. You could never get back to like, I get it.
yeah.
That's Is there any path forward for the two of them?
Mm,
I'm so fascinated to see what Rachel does with this because like where do you go from so basically she's still in love with Kai. She also loves
well, okay, so there's a few chapters back where I think she realizes that she loves Acker, and she says, think, I don't think I ever even loved Kai the same way. Yeah, loveful. I don't know. That part, I'm like, okay, maybe she does, but maybe not the same way that Acker, but that could also just be the matching bond. I don't know. But sorry, go on.
yeah, no, 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 no. Because you're right. I do remember her saying that. But even so, even if it's not the same way,
Mm-hmm.
she still has like Kai still
A
thinks
lot.
he's with her,
Yeah. She definitely has
right? Like,
allegiances to him for
yeah, her
sure. Yeah.
allegiance is to Kai.
Mm-hmm.
She's also still kind of in a pseudo relationship with Kai.
Mm-hmm.
And she was ruthless. She went full out undercover,
Mm-hmm.
like started a family with a golden retriever and like
Yeah.
and was like, "Oh, sorry, you were just the
Yeah.
mission."
Yeah.
Wild. So I'm curious to see, might sound like a stupid question, but I also feel like it's fair. Where does she go from here? Where she's
Right.
got obviously Acker is probably going to now what, hunt her? How did
Yeah. Same.
how did she see this work? Because like what is he gonna do? Be like, oh yeah, I'll take the throne
Yeah.
and yeah, like we'll have an allegiance. Like you didn't have to make such a scene about it. How do we see this unfolding in the way that she's saying she wants it to? She wants him to take the throne. And then what?
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to like wage war against you now for this?
I
How
don't
did
know.
this solve anything? I guess is my question.
She had to have killed the king.
Both of our brains are just
She had the thing that fucked her up is that she didn't kill the king. Well, we don't know, but
right. That's what I
assuming
would
so.
guess. Yeah.
that was the whole point of her going undercover to get as close to the king as possible. So she didn't do what she set out to do. And
No. So now all
now
she's
she's
achieved is betrayed him,
pissing off, yeah.
killed a bunch of,
Yeah.
party goers. And to what was the point of like red wedding everyone in the room?
I don't know. It was harsh for sure. I mean, I guess was that the conclave?
Like,
That
was it
was
like generals and like their
I
version
think
of like
so.
Congress and senators
I
and things
think
like that?
so.
It's kind of like they
Obviously,
cut off the body of the snake, but they kept the
yeah.
head.
Yeah. And I also want to know what part her mother has in all this.
Yeah, she sent her dagger to her mom.
Mm-hmm.
How long has she known that she was going
Mm-hmm.
to do this? And did she just wait for her opportunity? Like when Acker showed up on that boat, was that just like, okay, it's happening? Or like, did they create the plan when he came?
It seemed like, well, especially that chapter, right? Chapter 50, what is that, 6? It seemed like she just kind of thought of it like, oh wait, like
Yeah.
this is my chance. Like this wasn't part of the original
Like
plan.
Kai's big plan was just kill the guy.
Yeah. Well, his plan was to let him drown and send him back. Like he had just died on the boat or something like that. Like
So what was
drowned.
like the OG plan though? Like were they just a rebellion that just didn't really have a plan and they were
They,
sitting in wait?
well, I think the king was already cutting off their like food and stuff, right? And then
Mm,
the market made it worse. And so
right.
I think Ren was trying to build up alliances so that they can go attack Kenta or something. I think that was the plan. It sounds like a decent one. But the market made things more complicated, and then now Acker came to Allaha, and so they were just gonna let him die, send him back. And it wouldn't be attributed to them because he would have just been found dead on his boat. So it would have at least kept not peace, but I don't think they would have been looked at or anything. I don't know. I don't know. My mind's just
Yeah, I saw, also from the little bit I've seen, I want more people to read this book, is that people talked about how what provided some frustration for them was the fact that unreliable narrators, but then there's narrator. This is just a narrator who's just been lying to you the whole time.
hmm
And like you got little slips into her mind where she was like, and nothing lasts forever, and those kinds of
hmm
things. But I don't know. I think the part to me that's just so, I mean, the betrayal's deep, is deep.
Yeah.
But my gosh, do you think it was her plan to cozy herself up to him as much as possible? Or do you think she actually fell for him accidentally? Or was she using that and really pushing that forward so that, I don't know, because some of it felt really unnecessary. So it must have been that she like was
Pushed.
really falling
Mm.
for him. It's just whether or not her original plan and had like motive to like, oh, I'm gonna milk this.
We don't know, right? Because they obviously have a history. They've known each other since they were kids. Did she know that part of it?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy.
I have
Also,
Go for it.
no, you go.
I was gonna say I've never read a book that I finished and I had 3 million questions.
Yeah. Part of me, part of me wants to go back. Chapter 56. Obviously, that was omitted from the timeline that we
Yeah.
did. Did she actually lie to us?
Well, that's what I'll be curious to go
Hmm
back through. There was a lot that was omitted from,
Yes.
like, there are thoughts and things she did not share with us
Yes.
specifically.
Correct.
But the question is there anything that I mean, she skirted the line by saying, like, I'm just not going to share with you half of the equation, but the
Yeah,
half I shared with you is accurate and
true,
real.
right.
So we just had access to half of her thoughts and
Mm-hmm.
brains and motivations.
Mm-hmm.
So
So that's to say what everything was real, I guess. Like all
I
those feelings were
guess,
real. There was just another part of her that, yeah, that I don't know, blurred it a little bit, or I
I
don't
just
know.
don't see how he doesn't just hunt her ass down and go to war over this. Like, I don't think this solved a dang thing.
The blood oath. He can't kill her. He can't kill her.
Can he order others to do it?
What was the oath? It was I will protect her until my last breath.
Yeah, I guess it was vague enough that it's just there's just a question. There's a question of like, are they going to try to slip a loophole in there? But she
And also,
didn't know that he was going to do that. But she
no.
also didn't know that he was going to say, "Spare my dad, you owe me."
Yeah, man.
I'm trying to see what the oath says. I forget.
That just makes me believe that, oh God, I don't even know. Does he have to be near her at all times? Well, also the mating bond, right? They have to be together, otherwise they're projecting to be near each other. Like it's making them project.
Yeah, I mean, basically, they're going to continue to be pulled together,
Yeah.
but he, at least himself, can't hurt her. He has to. Did he say, okay, I'm so close. Did he say he has to protect her?
I thought that was
Jovinia,
it.
Princess of Melee, is my match. With this oath, I swear to protect her until my dying breath.
Yeah.
Dude, that takes it a step further because he has to protect
Protect.
her.
Hmm.
He not only can't hurt her, he has to protect her.
Yeah.
What was
So
she gonna do if he didn't do that oath out of nowhere that no one asked him to do?
yeah. He really fucked himself, man. Trying to profess his love.
My heart is just with Acker in this time of need.
Yeah, because he's not a bad. Okay, after all that,
Yeah.
he's not the bad guy.
No, he could only.
He can become one, maybe. I mean, is he though? Yeah, I don't.
But also, is there like, just I don't know. This is Inception. This is Inception
Yeah, yeah.
because he could, this might be crazy, but this was crazy
Mm-hmm.
that maybe we only got half of his thinking too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like there's a world
yeah,
we get like Light Wielder and it's his perspective and we only get half of it and we only got half of it in this one because it was from Jovi's perspective.
yeah. It'll be interesting to move forward and be like, what am I actually reading? You know what I mean? Like, what can I can I trust what I'm reading? I don't even know anymore. Like, please, Rachel, put some disclaimers of like,
Yeah.
hey, this is actually the truth. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know how the way I'm gonna be reading Light Wielder, like Charlie Day on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where I'm like, but what about this? And like
Hmm.
making something out of nothing, and then
Yeah.
they end up finding out that the whole thing that Charlie was like all like, no, there's a huge conspiracy. It's like those people all exist and they've all been asking for their mail. And
Right.
it's just like,
Right.
oh, I'm gonna need 3 to 5 business days to recover.
Again.
Again, all over again. The
Yeah,
way I had to
man.
sit on this for weeks
I know.
and we couldn't talk about it. We did not talk about like
We
we
didn't.
pretty much what did we say? We said,
We we said fuck when we
yeah,
finished. And I was like, what the fuck did I just read? And that was kind of it. Yeah. We didn't have any
we kept
discussion
it. We
about it.
saved our reactions for now.
Hmm.
But okay. Well, I'm pumped because Light Wielder is well, it's not coming out soon now. I thought it was coming out this year. It's coming out 2026.
Yeah.
So I'm bummed about that, but we will absolutely podcast that when it comes out.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. We could also maybe do like a once we've both done the audiobook, we could do like a
A
refresh
recap?
on
Yeah, yeah.
like our theories and
Yeah.
all
I might
that.
do that closer to the release of the new one. What
Yeah,
do you
yeah,
think?
yeah.
Just so that
Yeah,
we're kind of fresh in our mind.
yeah.
But yeah, that'll be fun.
We should also pick another book that we're going to. We've been toying with a couple.
Yeah.
I know Will of the Many is one. It's right back there.
Right. Yes.
Is there
Uh,
anything else that we'd like to consider putting on the list?
Shield of Sparrows?
Ooh, that could be fun.
That one's is that a standalone? At least there's only one book. Oh well, Will of the Many too. Um, I do also have the Games Gods Play.
We could do that one. I actually have both the Libby audiobook for that and
Have you started?
Kindle Unlimited. No, I've not started. Maybe we'll
Um,
toy with
those
those.
three?
Any others to add?
No, that's all, as far as fantasy, that's all I have on the list.
I recently started, I'm actually only like 4 chapters into of Blades and Wings.
Okay.
And that one's actually supposed to be kind of like a underrated, lesser known author
Mm,
book.
okay. Do you like it?
And so far I'm intrigued, you know?
Okay.
So we will talk through and we'll make hopefully one of those.
But thanks for
Read through.
joining us for Metal Slinger. That one
That
was
ties it up.
crazy.
Oh my God.
Yes,
That
first
was
book down.
stressful.
It was a good one. It was a good first book.
It
A lot
was.
to talk about, a lot of theories and emotions, but
Well, catch you next time
yeah.
on FMC Book Club podcast. Yikes.
Adios.
Bye.